It is day 28, week 7 of the United States versus Sean Combs, and we are pretty much on the last week here. I guess the last full week, hopefully, but the government is actually set to rest their case tomorrow instead of today. They did finish the direct testimony of their last witness, Special Agent Joseph Cerciello, but we still have to get to the cross-examination this afternoon, and then most likely a redirect, which will be tomorrow morning. And the judge said that by Wednesday, we should be doing the jury charges and closing arguments should be Thursday. The defense really believes that on Tuesday, they will start their case in chief and they will finish it. So that was really interesting. And it sounds like what they're going to do is, instead of calling all these witnesses, they're actually going to be putting evidence up for everybody to view, text messages, emails, etc. And they also want to isolate witness testimony, government witness testimony that was inconsistent with what these witnesses had previously told the government before they got on the stand. And they're going to be doing this via stipulation, and they're actually working a bit with the government on this to streamline the process. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And also, the verdict sheets, both the defense and the government submitted their verdict sheets. I actually tweeted this out at Conlin_Lauren if you want to view them. But basically, there was a really big difference on the way they wanted to present the RICO. The defense wanted the jury to write in the predicates that they felt like Diddy was guilty of, if they felt like he was guilty. And the judge is like, no, this is really just asking for a disaster if you want the jury to kind of write all this in. Meanwhile, the government had a novel of what they should check off. So the judge was like, okay, let's just meet in between here. So that is the plan. And also, Alexandra Shapiro requested that the not guilty was on the left side versus the right side. Okay, so we'll see if we follow that schedule. Who knows? We'll wait and see. But let's just get to Joseph Cerciello. His testimony, I mean, again, I had said this last week. We are in the Jane era. We are recapping and summarizing all of that. So a lot of the stuff we had heard before. But I will say we heard a lot of different female names, really showing us how much Diddy just appeared to be juggling a few women. We even saw a text from Gina. We had never seen a text from Gina before. But first and foremost, the jury saw sexual encounters or explicit videos. There were over 50 videos, but they only saw about 14 clips. And the special agent testified that he recognized Diddy, Cabral, and Jane in most of these videos, or they were the ones that he knew them and he recognized them, but that doesn't mean they were the only ones in the videos. Now, the jury, they didn't react like they did before. They were, again, very stoic. By the fourth video, I noticed that one juror, he kind of was tired of it. He was kind of rubbing his temple, taking his glasses off, and a female juror, a little bit older, was kind of going like this. They seemed like, okay, been there, done that. And it felt like we were watching a lot, or they were watching a lot of videos. Again, this is all sealed, so we had no idea what they were watching or what they were listening to. Also, there was a text exchange between Diddy and KK mentioning someone named, it was a name Annika. I had never heard that before. And KK had texted him twice saying that your nightstand has Plan B in it. That felt like it was really important for her to say. We also got some context into something from September of 2023. This was a time when Jane was supposed to go to New York, but she heard Diddy on a podcast bragging about how much sex he had with another woman on this trip, and it was for 48 hours and they did it the whole time. And so Jane's texting him like, I'm not coming, sorry, you're out there bragging and I'm over here doing the dirty work inside these hotel rooms for you while you go on vacations with other women and I feel disrespected, whatever. Well, we heard from Jane on the stand that, he called her and he kind of convinced her that we don't have to do this, just come to New York, we'll go shopping, we'll go to dinner, it'll be romantic, etc. Well, then we see the text messages from Jane and Diddy after coordinating the trip, and Diddy telling KK, hey, don't worry, it's cool, Jane's coming. Well, at the very same time, concurrently, when Diddy hangs up with Jane, he texts Paul Arthur, the quote entertainer, and says, hey, are you free? Or are you in New York? Paul's not free. And then he immediately goes and texts Bridget from Cowboys for Angels about somebody. So this to me was the government trying to point out the fraud aspect. Jane was told one thing and he was already doing the opposite after he told her that wasn't going to happen. And also, just a little tidbit, Diddy was arguing about Bridget, about the price of some of her guys, and I guess he shortchanged her for one of the men, and she pointed that out, and he was like, look, he couldn't even perform. And she was like, whoa, 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 you are paying for time and companionship, so please, like, she was kind of like, don't say that. And Diddy's like, okay, no problem, whatever, and he paid the rest. What else? It seems like Diddy really liked Paul Arthur. Things that he would text him seemed a little bit more personal than the other regular escorts. He even said something like, I wish you were here, bro, or something like that. And he also had said at one point that Paul could go chill at his house when he wasn't there, which I was like, oh, okay. What else? There was a lot of texts from assistants needing money or cash for Diddy to bring to the hotel room. And there was also talk of drugs between Diddy. Sorry, she's yelling. Talk of drugs between Diddy and an assistant. We even saw a photo of a couple pink pills and blue pills, like 3 pills each in this photo. And then we also saw what he has in his IV cocktail after a hotel night or debauchery, which is like calcium, magnesium, B12, sometimes Benadryl, vitamin C. And then we saw a coordinating hotel thing with someone named Chelsea with these assistants. We might have heard Chelsea before. I have to go back and look at my notes, but I was like, wow, okay. And then we also saw a text where Diddy wanted KK to cancel on Young Miami. He's like, I'm never gonna be able to get out of here, meaning he was with Jane. He's like, so can you tell her I had a family emergency or something like that? Like, really juggling these women. And then there was another occasion where KK said, hey, KT can't be in VIP. This was during one of Diddy's performances because Jane is here and the VIP section is too small. I took KT to be maybe Young Miami, Carisha, I'm not sure. Also, we heard audio messages from Diddy to KK saying he was out of baby oil, and he kind of laughed about it. Like, I can't believe I'm looking for baby oil. And he also asked her for Cialis, and KK said, hey, we dropped off 8 bottles of baby oil, 8 bottles of Astroglide. What else? Oh, and then we saw when Jane was trying to break up with Diddy in October of 2023, saying that she's sick of having loveless sex and feeling this way, and she feels exploited and blah, blah, blah. Well, we see that while he's texting with Jane trying to say, hey, we don't have to do this, Gina texts him and says, hey, babe, I'm ready for the car. So you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is busy. Yeah, and then again, just more flight records of the different escort or entertainers, and Jane flight records matching with the bank, matching with text messages, matching with hotel invoices. A lot of what we've seen previously, just adding a little bit more context. Okay, so I probably forgot something, but I'll add it later on today after I update everybody about the cross, because usually it's a little bit shorter because court is shorter in the afternoon. All right, thanks everyone.